So the next technique, and it's a truly fundamental technique and movement in jiu-jitsu, is shrimping or hip escapes. So I'm in this situation where I'm on my back, and I want to create some space. Okay? The way I do this movement is I never want to be lying on my back with my legs spread out like this. I am completely exposed like this. So anytime I'm on the ground, I got to bring my feet towards my butt. In this position, I have the ability to move. I'm more mobile, and I'm more defensive. Shoulders flat on the ground is not great. My ideal position is sat up. But there's times where I don't have any say in the matter. From here, I need to be able to create space. Jiu-jitsu is all about controlling space. When we're on the bottom, typically we are trying to create space. The person on the top is trying to take away the space to control us. So I want to create space from this position of being on my back. The mat is creating friction against my back, makes it hard to move. I'm going to lift my hips just an inch off the ground, just enough to allow free movement of my hips. What I'm going to do from here is I'm going to drive off my right leg, and I'm going to push my hips back and out to the left as I roll up onto my right shoulder. This is why we call it shrimping, because this position looks a little bit like a shrimp in the pan. From here, I rotate back to square, and you'll see I have moved a little bit. From here, my feet go back to my butt, I lift up again, push out to the other side, and like this I am creating space. You'll notice my hands stay close to my body the whole way through the movement. I'm not reaching high and folding low to create the movement. I am staying close as if I am peeling off a pair of leggings or a pair of pants. My hands stay close to my body. That's important because I don't want a gap that my opponent can exploit. If I bring in one of my training partners here, we can see in a practical situation, he is swarming me, he's getting close to me, I want to make some space. As he comes towards me, I can be moving away quite quickly to create the ability to get up and out of the way. So that's one of the situations that I'm going to use this movement, but it's going to come up over and over again. Very simple example, he's lying on top of me here. I want to make some space to get out. I'm going to do exactly the same movement to be able to go from him totally controlling me to me having some space between us. It's a fundamental movement. It's a fantastic ab workout, but it's a movement that's really practicing a lot of what's important. And the whole way through our warm-up, every exercise we're doing, the warm-up's designed to get your body warm, get your blood flowing, ensure that everything's loose and moving nicely so we don't get injuries, like any athletic warm-up. But we are also practicing movements that are fundamental parts of our jiu-jitsu, which is a way of ingraining body movements. We do have other exercises that we throw into the warm-up. A lot of times those will be related to the technique we're going to learn in the class that night. All of these techniques are the kind of things that people can go away and practice on their own at home. There's something else that they can add to their training. The fundamental thing with jiu-jitsu movements, when we are children, we roll around on the ground, we move around. And children move very naturally. As we get older, we put constraints on ourselves. Your parents, when you get hit a certain age, they start shouting at you, hey, get up off the ground, stop rolling around in the dirt. So by the time we get to being a teenager, typically, we're losing these movement patterns. A lot of people, when they come in and they come to their first class, they're going to find these basic movements quite difficult because they haven't moved like that since they were a child. That is completely normal. With only a few weeks or months of practice, these movements start to become ingrained and start to become natural again. Huge benefit for your jiu-jitsu, but also a big benefit just in general life in your ability to control and move your body In a similar way to things like yoga, having a better control over the way that you move your body is a very useful life skill and a useful health skill that will help you prevent injury in everything else that you're doing. So we've taken you through the basic elements of our warm-up. Our warm-up normally takes about 10 to 15 minutes at the beginning of the class and is our way of transitioning our brain into being ready to start the training class. Different gyms that you go to will have slightly different warm-ups, but most of them follow a similar pattern. The beautiful thing, I've traveled all around the world. I maybe go to a country where I don't speak the language. I go to a jiu-jitsu gym, I walk in, I step onto the mat, and I feel like I'm at home. You know, we're all part of one big community globally of jiu-jitsu, and that's one of the things that's kept me training for over 20 years, and one of the things that brings joy to my heart as I see more and more people joining the family.